let's continue our next slide. Okay. So before I start next slide, I would like to make a recommendation. How did you make a note? How did you copy my slide and make your own note? Okay. So every week, okay, we will have several slides in our class website. Okay. For example, the next slide I would like to share with you is T02, right? So I think the most convenient thing is that you log into your Google account. Okay, you log into your Google account, and then you simply just click this T02. Okay, it will pop out the next new tab, and you can see that CO means Collab. Okay, this service is provided by Google. Okay, so in this interface, okay, you can see the material I prepared for you at the right hand side. Okay, at the right hand side. Okay, so basically you can see here is the content of table. Okay, the first one is attack, CyberAttack, including malware and threat. Okay, the Collab is constructed by blocks. So if you want to make your own node, okay, most convenient way is simply just double click each block. Okay, two different interfaces will show. The left hand side is pure text. The right hand side is what you can see in this page. So basically, you can simply just type whatever you want in the block, and even you can add new blocks below my block. Okay? Okay. However, I do recommend that after you open this interface, okay, in the File tab, okay, here is a special function called make a copy to your own Google Drive. Right? Okay. So before you start to make your own notes, okay, in a new material, okay, you can make a copy to your Google Drive. So this copy will be in your Google Drive, not simply just right here. Because you close this tab, okay, it disappears. So you can, before you make your note, make sure you make your own copy from my repository to your own Google Drive repository. Okay, so every time you want to review your notes, your annotation, something like that, you just edit your own version of my slides. Okay, that's my recommendation. So if you want to do so, do it right now. Okay, you bring your own laptop. Okay. So basically, this is. Okay. So let's continue our next slide, okay, which is T02. I will show you some very basic security attack. Okay, basically they are malware. Malware stands for malicious software. Okay, so it is malware. Okay. Here is a book called Cuckoo's Egg. Cuckoo 就是杜鹃鸟啊，杜鹃鸟。那杜鹃鸟的特色就是它把蛋下在别人的巢里面嘛。Okay, Cuckoo's Egg， 不过外国人会知道这件事啊，然后就是俗语就是这样子啊。Cuckoo's Egg is a very old book. Okay, it says you can simply just Google it and get this page from Wikipedia. It described in about 1980s. Okay, there's a very severe attack. You have to notice that it is in 1980s, which is no one has personal computer at home. Most of the computers are built by the university. Okay, they use mainframe, not personal PC. Okay, it is a very interesting security story. Okay, we say story, so attack story. Okay, very interesting. You can check it out in the library. Okay. So I would like to show you an example. This example is called Blaster Worm. blast 的中文翻译成暴风嘛 ，worm 就是蠕虫的意思。Okay, let's take a look at this your graph. Okay, please follow me. Okay, and in such kind of attack, okay, we call malicious software attack. Okay, you simply just connect it to the internet. So that is you. You are a victim. Okay, the right hand side is the target host, which is your PC or your notebook, your server, which is connected to the internet. Okay, the left hand side is the attacker. The attacker would like to invade, 就是入侵, invade your personal computer or your server by using certain vulnerability. Vulnerability 中文翻译成漏洞哈 vulnerability. Such kind of vulnerability might occur or might happen in your software. Okay, so in this example, okay, your Windows PC has a very special service called RPC. Okay, you don't have to know what is RPC. Actually, it's just a service provided by Windows, and it's on your in your PC. Okay, in your PC. Okay. So that's from left hand side. That is attacker. Okay, attacker has a malicious binary file, which is created by the attacker. Okay, that name is MSBlastexe. It is an executable file. Okay, 在这边有一个可执行档啊，Okay, let's follow the number. Okay, the first step. The first step is the attacker execute this malicious file created by himself. Okay, so the very first things that the program do is to create a register check mutate. What does that mean? That just means the attacker would like to guarantee the MSBlastexe, this malicious software, is the only malicious software in this attacker's PC. 就确保它是这个 PC 里面唯一的坏的程式。Okay, but we will not go over those details. Okay, the first thing is to make sure the MSBlastexe is the only malicious program in attacker's PC. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, and the program will be in the malware and try to do attacks, right? So that is blaster's OneCode. It's code. Okay, what is in this OneCode? Okay, the second step. The blast attack, they will try to probe 就是探测哈 probe different IPs 就是不同的 IP all over the entire network. So it randomly choose about 20 different IPs in the entire internet randomly. Okay, randomly. So it is it happens to you, okay? Because your PC is connected to the internet, you have an IP address, right? And now it happens to your IP. So it sends through handshake. Okay, I think you all take a network course, right? So you know what is through handshaking. It is a TCP through handshaking. So it sends the TCP packet from the OneCode by using something programming to the vulnerable RPC services. Okay, which is at TCP port 135. Okay, that is your PC. Okay, so after through handshaking, the one blaster says, okay, the socket is connected, so the service is right there, and I connect it to the services by using TCP handshaking. And then the third is the third one. Step number 3, okay? After they do this such kind of connection, establish such kind of connection, and then the OneCode check the current date. Because the target of this attack, this blasted attack, is to send a lot of traffic from the attacker, from the infected host, to a third-party website, which is windowsupdate.com. Okay, at a specific date and at a specific time, all those infected hosts, all those attacks will send a lot of traffic from those infected hosts to windowsupdate.com. Try to DDoS, to distributed denial of service, this website, so that website goes down. Okay, that's step number 3. Okay, let's assume currently it is not the specific date. Okay, so we'll skip this step. Okay, step number 4. After the OneCode set up the TCP connection with your vulnerable RPC services, and step number 4 is they're trying to bind the service, bind the interface, and send exploit the code, which means there's a very specific vulnerability to the routing, okay, which is a bug. It's a programming bug, okay, in RPC service. And the OneCode, it knows how to trigger that bug. So by sending a very specific packet, okay, so the blaster OneCode send a very specific packet, which includes the very specific exploit code. And after the RPC service receive such kind of packet and try to process this packet, and this packet will trigger the internal bug of the RPC service. Okay, that is it. So after the bug is triggered by this specific packet, okay, step number 5. Step 4.1. Okay, they will handle this RPC request. However, a certain vulnerability called buffer overflow, 中文就是缓冲区异位啊，然后就异位这个 bug. After buffer overflow, okay, the RPC service will crash. However, the attacker will gain the execution right at the right-hand side. 就是他会得到执行的权限在右侧啊。At the right-hand side, and launch a shell code, which is right here, 4.2. And the shell code will open a new socket at TCP port 4444. 就是开个新的 port, try to connect back to the blaster OneCode, which is step number 5. Okay, that specific vulnerability can allow the attacker to execute any arbitrary code at the right-hand side. And at the moment the hacker tries to execute a shell code and open a new connection at TCP 444 and connect back to OneCode. Okay, that's step number 5. Okay. And after that, okay, when the blaster OneCode receives such kind of connection, say, okay, you establish a new connection with me. And step number 3 is we create a new socket, okay, to act as a TFTP server. TFTP server is a UDP service. It allows the attacker can upload or download a file from or to the between the attacker and the victim. Okay, so it's step number 6 at UDP port 69. And correspondingly, okay, at the right-hand side, the shell code will create a new process which is act as a TFTP client. TFTP client to interact with the TFTP server. Try to download a file, which is step number 8. Okay, let's exchange what kind of command the shell code should apply on the TFTP client. So step number 3. Number 8. Get the file. Which file? This one, the purple one. MSBlastexe will be downloaded from the TFTP server at the attacker side to the victim side. Okay, So after step number 8, the victim at the right hand side obtain the MSBlastexe. So that is the entire cycle of how a blaster attacker leverage a vulnerable RPG service and to buffer overflow this services, and then create another new process to download the purple MSBlastexe file. And after that, at the right hand side, the victim will become a new attacker. So it becomes a new attacker. So the right hand side, the attacker becomes a new infected host, and it further to attack another new victims, and so on and so forth. One attacker, it can attack 20 victims, right? And 20 victims, and then further attack 20 victims for each of the victim, and so on, so forth, so on, so forth. That is one of the. It is a classic example of worm detection. Okay, so basically, if you use a very old Windows and if this vulnerability is not patched， 那 patch 就是修正啊，你的这个漏洞没有被 patch 的话 ，you will be infected by such kind of cyber attack. Okay, that is one very classic, very commonly seen blaster. We call it the worm. Why do we use the term worm to describe such kind of thing? Because it can do what? Self-propagation. 就是自我散布啦，啊，自我散布。另外一个是 self-replication， 就是自我复制还有自我散布。那这个特点啊 ，because of the feature of because self-propagation and self-replication is like a worm。外国人的 worm 就是那个。比较一般来讲，就是泥鳅的那种虫啊，因为泥鳅那种虫，你把它切，它会自我复制嘛，啊，因为它有那个你切断它自我复制嘛，所以他们用 worm 来形容这个字，因为 because of the self-propagation and self-replication feature, so we use the word internet worm to describe such kind of process. Okay, that is. So basically, okay, let's take a look at this slide, okay? So basically, we're going to talk about attack vector. Attack vector is the method how an attack enter the victim. So there are several different techniques, okay? For example, as we mentioned before, buffer overflow, okay, stack overflow, heap overflow, okay? Or some insufficient authentication, insufficient input validation, some social engineering. Those are related to attack vector. In Mandarin, 就是在中文里面 attack vector 完全没有翻译，所以它的意思就是说它怎么样进入到攻击的，就是被攻击人身上。那可以有很多种方法，即使像 social engineering 也算是，就骗你点什么东西。OK， 好的，英文就没有这个。英文的 attack vector 就是那个意思哈。So there are several different attack vectors, and we will in the following few weeks we will talk about different attack vectors and how do we block those methods, okay, by using data analysis, okay. So we just put it there. Operational impact, okay. This part is just for reference. That means after those attacks get into your PC, get into your server, what will they do? For example, let me misuse your resources. there's a misleading information. Root compromise, okay? They set up a lot of program hidden in your PC, so that you do not be aware of your PC has been hacked. Okay, this thing we call rootkit. 中文也没有翻译哈 ，rootkit 就是 rootkit， 就是它不让你知道它在你的电脑里面，这个没有中文翻译啊。Most of the time, they install malware, malicious software, as we mentioned before, such as worm. Okay, short-term spyware advice. We will go back to this different malware maybe in next few weeks. 我们会看不同的东西，我们怎么样用分析的方法去把它们抓出来。Okay, we will use different analysis algorithms and tools to figure out how to identify them and how to detect them. Okay. Denial service, as I mentioned before, most of the worm, okay, when they infect a lot of vulnerable hosts, okay, they will ask them to perform this two-bit denial of service， 就是中文翻译成分散式的阻断服务嘛，分散式的，这是阻断服务啊。They will ask those infected victims to perform denial of service to, for example, a website or services. Okay. Okay. We will introduce several different prevention system. Prevention 中文就翻译成预防的系统啊，就是对预防的系统。Okay. So you have to when you do the monitoring, you have to detect such kind of attack happens in your system. So by collecting a lot of information, how do you identify such kind of attack is happening? By using AI or machine learning techniques. That is what we do in the following weeks. Okay. Spam. Sometimes they send a lot of spam mail. Spam 就是垃圾邮件嘛。Spam mail. So we will show you how a spam mail detector 就是垃圾邮件阻拦器之类的啊。When you receive several mails, how do you detect which one is spam mail, which one is a normal mail? And there are several machine learning techniques that we can apply on spam mail detection. Okay, principle. 好，这些东西知道就好了哈，因为我后面都有在讲过哈。Defense, okay? For some reason, okay, we can mitigate such kind of attack. Mitigate 就是减轻哈。Or remediation， 就是你for sometimes you can eliminate 就消灭嘛 ，or you can simply just mitigate 就减轻。Okay, it depends on how good is your detection algorithm, right? Okay. Of course, if your system has been hacked by the malware, okay, you have to do the recovery, you have to restore something like that. Okay, it applies on network level, OS level, user level, application level, data level, something like that. Okay, that is just for reference. We'll go over these things later. Okay, so we have to go over this one. Okay, I will skip this one, thread to this one because it is not that important. So we simply just go this. How do we identify an attack? I think this is the most important things. So basically, please be patient, okay? Be patient, be attention. Make sure you understand these two different, we say philosophy. First, misuse detection. The reason why we need the detection system is because we receive a lot of email, we receive a lot of packet, we receive a lot of files. Okay, if you're a security manager, okay, You receive tons of data, but how did you know which one of the packet, which one of the email, which one of the file is malicious, is suspicious? We don't know, so we need a detection system to help us to make the decision, right? There are two types of detection philosophy. 就中文翻译成你有两个概念 ，OK？ The first one is called misuse detection. Misuse, in Mandarin, misuse 就叫做误用，误用。但它的中文很不好啊，因为你完全不知道误用什么意思嘛。The other one is called anomaly detection. 好，这个很重要哈，要讲啊，因为这个跟我们后面学的东西有关系哈。What is misuse detection? Okay, let's find some example. If you go to the custom border, 就是海关啊，海关和 custom border, and there is an officer, right? And you have to present your, for example, passport. Okay. So, in the meantime, how do this custom officer know you are good guy or you are bad guy? If you are a bad guy, he will not allow you to enter his custom, right? If you are a good guy, okay, then just go. How do a custom office do such kind of decision? Basically, we believe there are two different philosophies, which is quite fit in these two philosophies. The first one is misuse detection. It means the custom office has a list of bad guy. Okay, the name of the bad guy, his ID, his fingerprint, his profile, anything about this bad guy. So when the bad guy, present his passport, okay, and they check the passport. Okay, that is exactly the bad guy on the list. So I cannot allow him to pass the custom border. Right? So the first philosophy is you, as a detector, you exactly know who is the bad guy, what the bad guy looks like, what the spam mail looks like, what the bad file looks like, what the attack packet looks like. So you have a list of bad things. But how did you construct such kind of bad list? So every time when a new attack occurred, found in the internet, there are a lot of security analysts, okay, so they capture the packet, okay, between the attacker and victim, and they analyze all the communication between the attacker and the victim, or they analyze the purple file. They try to figure out if they can find a signature. Okay, so right here. They try to find out if they can identify a signature. Or sometimes we use another word called fingerprint. Print. 中文翻译成那个特征啊，指纹我们通常不会翻啊，就是特征啊。If you can find a very specific signature or fingerprint of this attack, no matter it comes from the purple binary file or it comes from the communication pattern between the attacker and victim, no matter what, no matter how, but the security analysts, they can figure out certain specific byte or byte stream or a communication pattern between the attacker and victim, and then write it down as a signature. Signature means we can uniquely identify, okay, that is the attack. Okay, so every time a new attack occurs in the internet, security analyst will do such kind of profiling process. Profiling 就叫做侧写，好，就是把它描绘下来。Trying to do such kind of profiling process and try to figure out what is the signature or fingerprint of this new attack and write it down and send it to all of the antivirus software or firewall. So every antivirus or every firewall will receive such kind of report and say, okay, there's a new attack, and here is its signature. So every time when a packet pass by the firewall or a file arrive in your PC and your antivirus system would like to check this file, they will check against the signature database or the fingerprint database to make sure this file, this packet, or this communication pattern, if it matches, okay, so we use this word called match. Okay, matches the known attack. It simply like what? Like the custom border officer. It has a list. For example, the top 100 bad guy from FBI. Okay, they announce a list. They check against the list with you, which is present in the border, right? If you okay matches one of the bad guy in the list, and the officer blocks you, so you cannot pass the border, right? So that's what we call misuse detection. It is very useful for, okay, I wrote on there, known attacks. Because these attacks happen somewhere in the internet, in another country, and some security expert, okay, they spend time to analyze it and announce the signature. So everyone else, every firewall, every antivirus program, they know there's a new attack, so they can check against the list. So it has a very high accuracy. Because the signature is, you can uniquely identify the incident, 对吧？因为它可以唯一辨识它嘛。So it's quite simple. Non-attack find its signature and do matching. If it match, then it is attack. So we block this attack. It has a very high accuracy because the signature should uniquely identify this attack. Okay. So that is done. That is misuse detection. So how about the other one? At the custom border, okay, the officer usually has another philosophy, what we call anomaly detection. If someone comes to the custom border, okay, and the officer asks some question, and if you cannot properly answer his or her question, and you feel very nervous, okay, the custom border office may think, why are you so nervous? Is there anything wrong with you? Or if you carry some illegal product or something else. So sometimes, okay, the other approach called anomaly detection is very important because it describes what? Normal behavior. Okay? Describe. Normal behavior. The customer border may think, okay, a general tourist, okay, they may look like a tourist, right? they may bring a camera. They feel so comfortable, feel comfortable when they pass the border. But if you're very nervous, there must be something wrong, right? So basically, anomaly detection in Mandarin it is 异常嘛，异常 detection 是侦测嘛，对不对？好，自己写哈，侦测。好，那异常为什么叫异常？异常就叫异于正常嘛。So you have to know what is normal, then you have to define what is normal. And then if there is some packet, some file comes into your system, and you check against with the current instant with the normal behavior, the normal model you define in your system. If they are deviated 就是很远相异的意思哈。If they are deviated, then you can say, okay, I have a normal model. Usually people would act based on the normal model. However, the current and the current coming incident, file or a packet or a person, they deviated from the normal model. 就跟这个正常的模型相异嘛 ，deviated from the normal model. Then I can say those things are suspicious. 就是 deviated from norm 啊 ，norm 也可以哈，名词 deviated from norm. So they are. So those things are suspicious. But however, are they truly attacks? The answer is not necessary. Deviated from norm does not imply it is attack. It just simply says, okay, it is not like the normal behavior which is stored in my mind or in my system. 啊，就是相异并不等于攻击，相异只是你觉得它很奇怪而已。So, what is how do we use it? Okay, we can use such kind of technique to detect unknown attack. However, with low accuracy. 对吗？因为 because there are some attack that is not known yet. So when the new attack present at your firewall, at your gateway, in the border, in the custom border, you don't know it because it's a new attack. No one has analyzed it yet. So you don't have the signature or fingerprint of this new attack. So basically, the only thing you can use is you check it against with the normal model or the normal behavior in your system or in your mind. If it deviates from normal behavior too far away, then you can say, okay, that is a very suspicious behavior. It's a very suspicious packet, email, or person right here. So you can make an alert. You can trigger an alert, say there's something wrong with this person. So maybe you have to do some further analysis to this kind of packet file or this person. Okay? However, such kind of philosophy can help you to detect unknown attacks, right? Unknown attacks because you don't know its signature. So further, maybe you really identify a new attack and then you ask your security expert to help you to generate a new signature for this new attack, right? But so you have some possibility to identify unknown attack. However, the accuracy is a little bit low because, as we mentioned, deviated from norm is not directly infer an attack. So in the most of the system, these two kind of approach, we say detection philosophy or detection approach, you don't simply just use one of them. Most of the time, you use both of them. So you can have a very high accuracy to detect known attack, and you have a possibility you have the capability to detect unknown attack, although that has a relatively lower accuracy. These two things is very important in our following classes, because when we design a detector, most of the time, our program is to design a detector for email or for packet for malicious files. You have to figure out how to combine these two philosophy in your program. 好，你们要把这两个记住，因为我们之后设计那个我们的 detector 的时候，你要想想，有时候你要用上面这个概念，有时候你要用下面这个概念去写你的 program。好 ，that's very important. Here. So the next thing is that how do we collect all those data? How do we collect all those data? Okay, there are several different ways. Okay, the first one is called network telescope. Okay, which is related to Honeypot. Network in Mandarin, network telescope 中文翻成没有中文，就是网络望远镜嘛。那 Honeypot 的中文是诱捕网路。Honeypot 就是那个蜂蜜的罐子，因为蜂蜜罐子很甜，所以它会吸引昆虫来所以那个 Honeypot 在英文里面是吸引的意思，所以中文翻译成诱捕网路。Okay, so a network telescope in Honeypot is like that. You find an IP address which is not used in your company, for example. Unused IP address, and you set up a program in that IP address. Okay, the program can accept any incoming socket communication request. For example, if let's take this one for example. Okay, I use another color. Okay, right here, I have a blue one. Okay. Okay. That is internet. Okay, here is an attacker connected to the internet. Okay, and here is your company. Okay, and you set up a honeypot. Okay, with the IP address, for example, 1.3.3.4. Okay. As we mentioned, if it is a worm, right, it will send a lot of prop, prop to the entire internet. Sometimes, okay, an attack will try to connect to your IP address, your PC, and try to figure out if there's any vulnerability in that box, in your IP address, right? So on the contrary, 就是反过来说哈 you can set up a program, okay, a program which is called Honeypot. It can accept any incoming request. Okay, for example, if it try to RPC TCP 445, okay, if you try to connect to RPC services at TCP port 445. And your honeypot will accept this TCP connection and reply, say, okay, you can connect to me. And the attacker will think, okay, there's a victim which I can try to invade. This one. But actually, it is not a victim. It's just a fake program which can accept all the incoming traffic. Okay? There are a lot of honeypot in the internet, and even in our university. Okay, we try to capture the malicious communication pattern from the attacker all over the internet. Okay, they will send arbitrary communication requests to any IPs in our subnet. And we simply just accept it. Okay, so please continue. Such kind of honeypot will capture the files sent by the attacker, will capture the packet from the attacker, and so on and so forth. Okay, so in this way, we can collect a lot of attack. Okay, but our system will not be infected by the attacker, by the attack, because our program is a fake program. It simply just receive all those packets from the attacker in response, try to respond. Okay. Just ignore this one. Or sometimes, okay, we'll set up a system. Okay, for example, a very old Windows on the internet and connect the very old Windows system in the internet, and wait, just wait. Wait for what? Wait for being attacked by the attacker. And of course, we will set up several logger or say monitor to receive every packet, to receive any Windows event， 这个叫做中文是 Windows 的事件事件集，在控制台里面有这个。And then we try to profile， 测试try to profile what the attack want to do to this very old Windows system. And we collect all this information, and those information will be the input of our AI model, our machine learning model. And we analyze those things and try to figure out what the attacker want to do to our OneCode system. That's another approach. Okay, on the network side, to collect all those files, all those packets, on the host-based side, to collect the files or the actions applied in our OneCode Windows system. Usually, what we analyze files. Okay, we will spend 2 or 3 weeks to teach you how to analyze files. Okay, the other one is packet. We also have a class to help you analyze packet. Okay, of course there are some other things. For example, how do we identify if HTTP is a web URL or website is malicious or not? Okay, SMTP is the email. How do we justify an email is spam mail or is it okay, as we mentioned, we have we will teach you how to build intrusion detection system. This means when the malicious mail, malicious packet, malicious file comes into the system, and you have a machine learning algorithm to detect whether it is an intrusion or not an intrusion. Prevention means you analyze it online. So if you believe it is an attack, you simply just block this packet, you block this file, you block this email, so that the user in your company will not receive this packet, email, or files. So you can prevent the attack. Okay. Sometimes we do postmortem forensic. Postmortem 就是事后啊 ，forensic 就是鉴识，事后的鉴识。Okay. If you have a monitor in your company, even if they are not prevention system, but if your company has been attacked, there should be some record being recorded in the monitor, right? So after the postmortem, after the event, you can try to figure out what is all the undergoing entire course, entire course of the attack. How an attack enter our company, what kind of protocol it used, what kind of technique it used to invade our PC. Okay? And sometimes we will do lab reproduce, which means if we can obtain the execution file of the malware, we will reproduce it in the lab. As mentioned, We can monitor the host, we can monitor the network. So these two types of monitoring we will have two different systems we'll introduce in later. Okay. Let's skip this. How complex. Okay. And for how to understand an attack. Okay. Of course, because Blaster is a very old cyber attack. So basically, you can find CVE, common vulnerabilities and exposures. There are some white papers, okay, which describe how this attack happens, who wrote these programs, how many PCs has been infected by this malicious software, how do we patch your system, something like that. Okay, the entire white paper will be described by CVE or some other, other software that we can search and visual, something like that. Okay, and as I mentioned, once the attack has been discovered by the security expert, they will try to make the signature of this attack, right? So Snowd is a intrusion detection system. It's the open source, so a lot of companies use this kind of open source intrusion detection system. So there is a specific rule, which is Snowd ID 2351, which describes how do we capture the blaster attack. So after you apply this rule in the Snowd intrusion detection system, then the firewall will block all the blaster packet. So your company, your network will be protected by this rule. Okay. So so let's take a look at this one. Monitor attack lifecycle. It is a very new thing, relatively. Okay. So let's take a look. You can simply just this one. This one, okay? You can simply just Google monitor attack. Let's see how professional security expert, how they describe an attack. Okay, so you can see there is a matrix right here. So we have a matrix. Okay, most of the time we believe an attack is a very long process, has several phases. 就是一个攻击不是只是一个点而已，它是一个比较长期的事情啊。So there are several different phases. We use the word attack life cycle， 就是攻击的生命周期啊，它是一个长期的事情啊。攻击不是只有一个点而已。So there are several different tactics， 就是攻击的 tactics 是战略嘛啊，攻击的战略。For example, 14 tactics. Reconnaissance 就是评估探测的意思啊，就是 before you can really enter or you can exploit before 就剥削哈 ，you can exploit vulnerable services, vulnerable PC. You have to do, for example, some scanning, some probing to make sure that is exactly the vulnerable host you like to attack, right? 我们会做一些探测的工作。Okay, there are several techniques. For example, there are 10 techniques. We in this reconnaissance tactic 就是战术，这个战术下有很多的技巧啊，技巧。Okay, for example, initial access. Okay, it is another tactic. Okay, which is described. Okay, if you want to access that vulnerable services or vulnerable PC, okay, there are several tactics you can do. Okay, we will describe some of them in the following course. And how do we countermeasure such kind of attack? How do we use AI to do countermeasurement to detect such kind of initial access tactic? For example, drive-by compromise. We will do that too. Okay. Execution means. Did you remember Blaster will ask you the new process at TCP 4444, right? That's called execution. So there are several different execution group, which is done by the attacker. Okay, there's some privilege escalation, which means usually attackers try to gain execution privilege in your PC so that they can execute whatever the attacker wants to do. So there are several different techniques to perform privilege escalation, something like that. So you have a lot of tactic and technique. As a whole, 就是全部加起来哈 we can describe how attack invade our system, the entire attack life cycle. We'll use these things to describe it. One of the, I think the very last homework, we will leverage this table to help us to identify which phase the current attack belong to. 听懂吗？比如我们最后的作业会利用这个表格，然后用一些 AI 的方法告诉我们说，现在攻击已经走到哪个地步。好，这个以后最后一节课应该会用到这里。Okay, that is the first the first two slides I would like to share with you today, and we have only a few minutes. Okay, so let's go back to let's go back to this one. Okay, so today we introduce what is security management. There are several different concepts, including what is safe. 挡住了，我不要做这个。这个吧。好，就对，没有错，对啊，没有错。哎，哦，它被挡住了。So we introduced several concepts, which but most of them we have not mentioned later because we talked about algorithm and code in the following weeks. Okay, but you have to keep in mind those concepts. For example, what is safe? Why do we need this concept? What is security? Security is a control method. So we have to we have several managers need to apply certain rules, certain laws, certain policies to help us to build up the security control system, and then we want assurance to help the security system to make sure they function properly, right? And we introduce a classic attack to make sure you understand all the ongoing communication between the attack and vector and all the files used in there. We'll analyze packet and the files in the following class. Okay, so also I will show you, because we don't have enough time today, so we will show you how to use Google Collab next week. Okay, so you can simply just use Google Collab to write your homework and analyze your data. Okay, so next week, okay, is what we like to introduce is supervised learning, okay, to do a classification. And I think that is the most important things because it is the basic things. So make sure you are here or you go home and watch the video, okay? T04 on this one, table-based data and the data analysis process is very important. You have to use this concept in the entire homework, entire class. Okay? Okay, we stop here. Any questions? If you want to enroll this Oh, okay, that's one. As I mentioned, all the other following class will be like T04. So before you enroll this class, make sure you watch T04 before next week, okay? Because it has a lot of mathematic things, algorithm things, and programming things. Make sure you fit in this classroom, okay? So if you can do this, review T04 before you come to class, okay? Make sure you understand what we're talking about next week. And you want to enroll this class, bring your document, your enrollment document, okay? If you are on the internet, you want to withdraw this class or you want to enroll this class, you can send email to TA or me. That's it. At most, we could accept about more 15, maybe 15 students. Okay, that's it.